Kevin and Kelly had the most beautiful wedding in town despite their financial constraints. After the wedding, they traveled for a short honeymoon trip, and once they got back in town, they started house hunting for a house. They went from street to street, and all the houses they got were way beyond their budget. One day, they came across an old house, and the landlord agreed to give them a discount after a simple renovation. Kevin and Kelly moved in, and they started their marriage life together. Their life was beautiful. Kelly enjoyed cleaning and organizing her new house, while Kevin had the best job in town. Kelly was a housewife, but she would crochet items that she would sell in the marketplace from time to time, and this earned them an extra income. One day, as Kelly sat down to crochet a sweater, she heard footsteps on the roof of the house. She stepped outside to check on what was walking on their roof, but she could not see anything. She went back inside the house, but this time the footsteps became even louder. She got scared and ran outside and sat under a tree, and she continued to crochet. Noontime came and she was so hungry. She stood up and went to the kitchen to warm food that they had eaten the previous night, but when she got to the kitchen, she was shocked. The cooking pot was empty. She started speaking to herself, saying,
"Did we finish last night's food, or am I hallucinating?"
She thought she was hallucinating, and she decided to cook a fresh meal and went outside to eat. She ate and sat outside and continued to crochet as she waited for her husband to come back home. When her husband arrived, she narrated everything to him, and he brushed her off, saying,
"Honey, I think you must be tired and exhausted out of the cleaning of this house, and that's why you must be hearing your own things."
Kelly agreed with what her husband had said, and they went inside. Kelly prepared dinner, and they ate, prayed, and went to bed. While they were sleeping, Kelly heard the same footstep and shook his husband to hear it. And for the first time, Kevin heard the footsteps. He went outside to check on what was on their roof, but he could not see anything. He came back to the house and asked his wife to get a pastor to pray over their house. That night, they had a fellowship in the house. After that week of prayer, they had a very beautiful moment with nothing to scare them away. 1 week later, Kelly met a strange figure standing right in the middle of their sitting room. Kelly tried to run outside, but the ghost stood firmly and said, "You people are in my property. This is my premises. I own this home. I'm giving you the last warning to move out of my house before other more strange things start to happen. Move out. Move out. Move out." Kelly panicked and ran outside. She could not believe what she had seen and what she had heard. She sat outside the whole day until her husband returned. Kelly decided to tell her husband everything that had happened, and they both agreed to pray more. The more they prayed, the more strange things began to happen. Kelly got pregnant, but she later lost it when it got to 6 months. Kelly became sick and endlessly. She wasn't getting better despite taking her medications. Kevin suddenly lost his job, and they could hardly feed. They decided to call back their pastor, who prayed for them and advised them to move out of the house because it was a haunted house. It housed dead spirit and the spirit of frustration, and the more they lived there, the more the spirits fed from their frustration. The pastor agreed to house both Kelly and Kevin until they got back on their feet. After months of moving out, Kevin finally got a new job with a good salary, and this time round they moved to a newly built house. The end. If you have enjoyed this story this far, please give it a like, subscribe, and share, and please consider leaving a comment on the comment section telling me whether you enjoyed the story, and tell me whatever city or country you're watching me from for me to give you a shout out on the next episode of Wonder Tales by Julian.